Ediba Jumedi so. And then Madwuma Nie ye the bremu efri Odumase Krobo. Batfarm and trading. Mene CEO your friend no Mr Batsa Francis and the vegetarian uncle. I say you know poultry farm. Na mene ni bedi nkomo efa ne poultry farm no. Se na ehya ase impempenso a odi abedru. Enti sise no umayenko Mr Batsa Francis ho. Ni ene ne twetwe nkomo. Mr Batsa, no akwa ba de Badwuma so.
Thank you. Since we are on Krobo land, I would like to speak a bit of Dangbe or Krobo. I'll blend it with the tree and then the English.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Can you please tell us a little about yourself?
Okay, thank you. Gavini Selam Kedio, Achemi Batsa Francis. Alo Kedi Bene Selam Kedio. Clonojim. Ichwoninge Sika Situhi. Nene Blefunu Cheleke financial institution. But Remount Druminya, Mapi, Gia, Ke, Louis Bo, Fujino. We've started something small over here.
Kakra Mr Batsa Francis and say Oye Juma ewo sika krabia. Na wa started bibi kakra ewo ni fie. Nti mekoso na mebisa no ade a wa started ewo ni fie. Mr Batsa Francis, mini o start nge ewo ni.
Na ne wa chele ngebla fugu ke poultry farm. Alo kungoi lemi. Ne kabene moniche una ejiwi ne ima igbinya lolo igbe fanya ne ingelejon ne pie ni igbinya lolo. I took advantage of it to start something small, rearing of birds.
Wow. Se yanka se asunwa o say onu akasa ni fie awesi na emomu no onwieye na waye baby a onu akasa ote e na efa na aka no onu akasa nso e de ahye poultry farm ase e se onyen nkoko nti e bekoso ani na etwetwe nkomo. How did it come about? At what point did you realize that you want to go into poultry?
About a year and some few months ago. So after I moved in over here, I've always wanted to do something agriculture, but mostly it is crop farming that I was initially interested in. So having moved in here, and then looking at the space left empty, and then so I decided with my little brother. So we had a small discussion, and then I told him we have to start something over here. So we started with about 100 birds, that is cockerels for Christmas. So we did 100 cockerels for Christmas last year. That is how it all started.
Well, how was it like at the initial stage, preparing the place and then getting the birds into how you were a fresher? You didn't know anything about rearing of birds, or you had an idea? Near poultry farm in Tinkukono, Edea, Ombe de Debia, my own say, Yabom on chain.
Okay. It was like I said earlier, 1 year ago. So after I had a discussion with my little brother, Then I went to see a senior colleague at work who is now into full-time poultry. So I had a little discussion with him, and then he encouraged me. He said he was going to be there for me for advices and some other help that I may need along the line. So he actually encouraged me to start it. Kankesi Odisa Farm and Trading. That is his trade name.
Well said. Mr. Francis, you say Ejumebia Shasi no Edding. How did you see yours? Was it that smooth? Was it that because you work with a financial institution, so you had it all glossary?
Mochum. Say no fellow was sidiole when it's a walika ewa. My own is not an exception. It was really difficult at the beginning, but luckily the structure, like you can see, was already there. So all I needed was the money for the beds, their medicals, or their vaccines and other medications, and the feeding. So it was difficult though, but since I started little, I started with just 100 beds. So it wasn't too much of a difficulty when I started 1 year ago.
We know that with rearing of birds or with poultry, you have a lot of challenges, especially at the early stages. You would have to incubate them. You have to give them some heat for them to. I don't know the terms you use, but then how was it like you waking up at night to do all those things? Did you psych your mind to do it, or it was a bit challenging for you?
Thank you. And the beginning, like I said, the 100 beds that we started with, we actually didn't breed them ourselves. So my senior colleague, Odisa Farm and Trading, that I told you about, he did the brooding and then sold them to me at 8 weeks. At that stage, you need no heat for them because they have already grown feathers and everything. So at that stage, he also started and then he has completed the necessary vaccinations for me. So the starting, the 100 beds, I didn't find it too difficult. It was after the 100 beds that I decided to scale up a little bit, that those challenges you are pointing out now has come to play. Like you said, after the 100 beds earlier, those are corporate, so after 6 months, we sold them out and then we started with 500 layers. So when we took the 500 layers, like you said, it is very difficult because like you can see over here, our brooding was done pure locally. Like if I say locally, we use charcoal and pot. So since we are not using electricity to do the brooding, it means at every point in time, you have to be checking on them. So you have to set alarm. That is what I did. I set alarm every 2 hours, 2-3 hours at night. I'll wake up and then we go and check on them. We go and check whether the heat is okay for them, whether there is cold in the room. If you need to increase the heat, you need to add more charcoal. So it has been so for 4 weeks before the brooding process was over.
Wow. This doesn't look easy at all. It doesn't. And we have people out there who are looking out or who are looking forward to engaging themselves into poultry farming. You are hearing it from him. Every 2 hours, you have to wake up and then come and check on the birds. Can you imagine you staying somewhere and then your farm being somewhere else? You have to wake up or you sleep on the farm. It may be enough. And easy, sir. Now, so show ding. Now, motivate you. Why motivate you? Behind your mom. Why watching so now, baby? Into one other show him. I show him crying. Now why you Mr. Francis Batsa, how many birds do you have now?
Now, as we speak, I have about 700 beds.
Wow, from 100 beds to 700 beds in a
Yes.
year. Within how many years?
A year.
Within a year, 12 months.
Yes.
Wow.
So I have 500 layers,
Okay.
and I have also started some cockroaches for this coming Christmas. That is
Okay.
200, making it 700.
Sure.
So in total, I have 700 beds over here right now.
Wow. Wow. So, giving yourself, let's say, in 5 years, are you still going to be here, or you have to move out? Because I don't see that you have enough space. The
Certainly,
speed at which you are going now, from 100 in like 12 months, and you are already 700 already. You are 700. That's impressive, quite impressive.
certainly we are not going to be here in the next year. Maybe next year by this time, if you come here, maybe I'll give you a new direction.
Wow.
Then we meet
A
over
new
there.
home.
Yes, we may find a new home for them. So, like you can see, the structure is not a poultry structure. So we are already facing some challenges. For that reason, we have to quickly find a place and then move them out. The challenges we are facing right now is ventilation. If it were to be a poultry structure, we will not build it high. Maybe we use mesh, a little of block work, and then mesh around it. But now this is where we find ourselves. So we are managing it, and because of the challenges, we are moving out. We will either move into a garden behind the house, and then later prepare a place, comfortable place, and then we'll move in there. We just don't want to sit until we've gotten everything set before we start doing something. We want to take advantage of the little we have to start something.
For Mwasumwan, he wants to take advantage of the little he has, and then you build upon it. Don't sit home and wait for that large as some amount of money to start something. Start with just the little you have, and that you build upon. And no, in obi hua, and no cry no, a better nippon crime. Ma, some way to hold the babuawa or the abua. Mr. Francis, let's talk about the feeding. How do you do it? Do you buy the feed from town, or you prepare feeds to yourself?
When I started, I was buying feed. So I used to buy feed from Odisa Farm and Trading, which I still do anyway. But along the line, when I started the layers, that is the 500 layers, it got to a point in time that he advised me to, if I'll be able to be doing the feed myself. He has a milling machine, that is a feed machine. So if you get your maize and other ingredients that you need and you go there, you can prepare your feed. He also sells everything feed. So even if you don't have anything, you have your money with you, you get there and then he will prepare the feed for you. Just that preparation of feed, unlike the buying that if you feel like you have money to buy 1 bag, 2 bags, you go and buy. This one, they do it in tons. So luckily, if you are not able to do 1 ton, he can do half a ton for you.
Okay. That's quite nice to hear, Mr. Francis. Sisi and with your poultry family, almost start early or eggs, and I say I think eggs no better.
Aboning them, we they've started laying, and then we are about 30 weeks now, and then they started laying in the 18th week. So we have started laying. We are selling eggs now.
Wow. So from the time they started till now, do you see any progress in the like laying of eggs? Do you see progress? Because I learned say when they start it's not that big.
Yes.
So as time goes on, that's where the eggs becomes like big enough for you to sell them. How is
Yeah.
it like on the side?
Like you rightly said, when they start dropping, you get very small drops.
Yo, Mr. Batsa Francis. Eggs no, so na ko bo bibi say pullets. Chechem kakra.
Okay. In poultry, pullet eggs are the first or initial eggs that the fowls lay. So they lay the pullet for some number of weeks. So it keep increasing in size as the weeks go by. So we have not left the pullet stage yet. I think we are about leaving the pullet stage. They are increasing, but not as the larger size that we have on the market. Not gotten there yet.
Okay. Maize prices across this year. How are you managing with it?
The maize price is something that is really killing farmers. And for us, what to do to solve that problem is we advise ourselves to start maize farm. So we have just harvested our maize, that is for the major season, and then we are planting for the lean season also. We have some few bags of maize which is going to complement the feed preparation, and it's going to ease a little pressure on the feed issue.
Until now, all can be about sales.
Yeah, the sales is not too bad. The challenge we have in the selling of the eggs is the price the women are willing to pay. Looking at the cost of feed right now, the eggs that we're supposed to sell it at 20 cedis a crate, they are willing to buy it as low as 16 cedis, which is a little challenging. So that is the challenge we are facing right now. Is the price for the egg, they are buying it, but the price at which they are buying it is the challenge that we have right now.
Okay. Mr. Francis Batsa, but you so be sure with your plan. Obey them. So be per se be Christmas, obey tongue cold chain, or be per eggs, obey them at home for number 2 Jamaican.
Okay, so this Christmas we have live birds, live and healthy ones. If you want a live bird to buy this Christmas, you can reach us on 024 99 55 727. I repeat, 024 99 55 727.
Mr. Batsa, that was no more name, answer now become. Advice by now, the Bena Obia or 2 faces here. I be an uncle was cut a prayer, so the best start to be no or train say, oh, Yando do an answer because one starting us away, Yabi be answer now starting. Advice by now,
Medasi. The little I have to say to anybody who is interested in farming, whether being in poultry or crop farming, I think it is best, in my own view, to start little. So if you have something small to start with, you don't have to wait to get millions of cedis before you start. It is good you start little as you can. Then you start growing it. When you start little like that, you keep learning as you grow. But if you start it big and you don't take time, you don't know the dynamics in it, you may bend your fingers. So in your own small way, if you have the interest to do something like poultry, you can start as little as you can. I started with 100 birds. You may start with 100, you may start with 50 birds. And then you learn. You may be learning from their books, but the practice may sometimes vary a little from the one that you read in the book and on the net. It is good to practice it and then to have the experience. So you grow and then you learn. You learn as you grow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I for Musum for Adjarkie. Men are made dwumedie every song. Me mama dasene.